So we have our Facebook now, and I mean our YouTube. Sorry, this YouTube was going to be a middle entertainment. Well, we changed it some time back to Pasta Meal, so that's going to change too, or might. Imposter spelled with an O. That's me, impostor, Emil. Impostor with E. That's you. But we are uh, made up with the um, live. I mean, with the channel. We are made up for what we want the channel to be. And sorry, I'm checking for something. Uh, I was doing a live not too far ago, and um, I try to do dual streaming with StreamYard and use Facebook and YouTube because I was um, trying to uh, introduce something new. So I had this whole background set up for us with something different, and uh, we didn't have we would have to upgrade. So without without going through that process with everything already set for streaming, I just went ahead and put it on Facebook. But uh, the moment to do is we are made up in our minds to what this channel will be. This will be what I will call the Epicenter. This will be where I generally guide everyone, all visitors, everything. This is where I would tell you about the different streams that, or the different social medias that the different social medias that I am working with. Uh, we have an entire ecosystem consisting of crypto trading, memes, quantum simulations. I mean, it's just a whole lot. So we built a website for it. So fortunately for everyone, we got to build an affiliates app and affiliates website and basically affiliates marketing company. It was a startup I was working on, but that didn't work out. Um, in doing so, because we picked up affiliate marketing from a different YouTuber, so we try to do it ourselves for YouTubing. But we needed to create content, and we had created content that was. Sorry, I'm a little teary. I just watched Euphoria and a little heated because Zendaya killed herself off. But very good though. It's very good screenwriting. Um, what was I saying? Uh, then turn on this in. She's a world premiere for Odyssey. I saw a preview of that. That looked pretty good too. Anyway, back to normal. So I what was I saying? This is where I would talk about everything because I tried to incorporate this with my Facebook and ended up sharing music content. So that kind of drowns out the Facebook that I'm, you know, actually, creating. So I had to go back and make some changes. I normally share the songs to another Facebook, so we got stopped in our tracks to see what was going on. So uh, we possibly maybe making some changes, either archiving and moving the content that we follow on that Facebook to the other Facebook, or uh, keep certain things and just change visibilities of others. Uh, but in general, or I just make them commercials and things. They were originally shares for content creators, people that are actually successful, or uh, using it for lifestyle. So uh, we wanted to kind of share that on our Facebook to watch. I do that with my YouTube. Um, this is the YouTube account that's associated with the same Facebook email. So, uh, what I watch on this YouTube, I share with Facebook. I know the X account is up there on my channel, and it goes to a crazy kind of posting of just digital things. So that's generally where my Facebook was going, but I just changed the visibility. Um, so it's still there, and the uh, coexistent was for this to follow, but this has more dominant reasoning for people to connect with, because all of the social medias I have, they don't have no place where you can generally get everything, like take everything in and say, I'm gonna go this way, I'm gonna go that way. So the actual content that we were trying to create to do the affiliates marketing was fire, electric, ice, um, and sparks or something, or stars. I don't know. But in general, in totality, all of the social medias and things, networks, they were to be a seven-headed dragon. So this would be like the head of the seven-headed dragons. This is because, in one social media, even though I have the X pinned to here, is talking about digital things. Another social media, but that one will be like, the go to for digital information that I'll be discussing here. Like if it's something new up that requires some attention, like I'm talking about a new computer. So that would be over in that social media where I break it down, because of course I would have to reintroduce myself. And another social media is cars and motorcycles and that kind of thing. I had a V-dub once, tried to check it out. Had a probe once, tried to check that out. So we're working on our final purchases, or our new purchases, but are never going back to having to hustle to buy another car. So we want to get the Maserati GT2, the Stradale, the XX Stradale if possible, and the Porsche 2027 Porsche Panamera uh, GTS. So we already did that on the Porsche website, and we did it on the Maserati website. So we built our cars. We are doing something on our computer where we're going to be trying to generate funding, just not with customers or anything. We're doing it digitally. It's like another form of trading, but we're just using we're using Web3 contracts. So I'm just contracting. Uh, so hopefully we can pull out some numbers from that. So we're working on that right now. We just recovered our PDFs. We swapped those out for markdowns, MD. So I'm all excited because I got some markdown files from my Google that I use for something, and uh, they were, I think, business documents. And so I did that with my PDF, and my PDFs were all of my AI assessments that built this, ecosystem that I'm discussing about. This is the epicenter, the head of it. So I went back to all of those assessments because they were stored in the AI. I lost a lot of them and some of them, but the one main one that I needed was retrieving the database that I first started with. And I told them swap it out for markdowns. So I did, and what it did was it kind of extracted what the PDFs were. And these were 40, 50 pages of of assessments from AI, Microsoft, Google, that I put on Microsoft Word documents. And I go back today to, to pick up where I left off. So I'm looking at because I just found the most important one. That's where I left off at. The most important one I wanted to find, I just left off of that. So I went back and I'm going through the markdowns and I'm looking for it. I'm like, what is this thing doing? So I highlighted the last response and I put it in Copilot VS Code. And I said, I don't see this, the markdowns, what did you do to them, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, it didn't do anything, yada, yada, yada. So I was like, do you see this anywhere? It was like, I don't see the exact text, but I see something about it in file 108. And so I looked at it and I said, it's like, but it's not these exact words. I just am able to know that it's file 108 because there's pieces of it in a PDF somewhere else. I mean, pieces of it from the PDF that I converted. So I thought it was all lost. It was able to get back all of the PDFs that it converted from 1 to 92. 93 to 108. It couldn't get it back because I use GitHub, which is a version control. So whatever you delete, you can code it back. You can undo it with code. So I got all 93 files back. I was like, good, because you don't even want to know. Like I sat down and for weeks copying, pasting all of my assessments. I left out my questions because I got a little mature with my coding, so I don't really need it. With just the assessments, that's all I need because I know what I built. And since I did not push, which means send it to the version control, they were in VS Code. But luckily, I was converting them and pushing them at the same time. So I told my AI to convert it to MD and push the files and then delete the PDFs when it's done. Since it was done all at once or within that prompt of converting, pushing, and deleting, it was able to track down a metadata path where it was still involved with the version control platform, software platform. So it pieced together the metadata with some temp files and I was able to regenerate the PDFs. Um, I got back to them, so we're gonna go over those tomorrow. We did a push. We got those on our version control, so they're there for good. So now we got Markdown and version control. So I got a plus out of it because now I have two files for one file, which is have the PDF and I have a Markdown for it. So that's a good thing. So we are now in the process of just laying back. You know, we're not stressing ourselves out, but my only job now is just copying over our assessment. This is all of our prompt engineering. This is what built everything. These are the things that, um, you know, are what's inside of the actual backend. They're all the codes. Like, I mean, for the most part, they are the initial code. This is where all of it started. So we still have a whole lot of them though. We probably got 50 to 60 more assessments that probably got 100 and a few of them. So then we have to go to Gemini. So we have to go from Microsoft to Google and get all of them. So we got about hundreds and hundreds of assessments to copy over. This is cool because we have all of our work on side of agentic, like base 44. And so, but it's a different one. It's more code based. So we pull up our workspace and now we can send our agentic to these assessments. We can give it to, we can say, this is all of the codes that built this workspace, that built all of our repos. So for your reference, you know, if I ask you to do something, you want to know how it started, this is where you want to look. And it's for my benefit too. So when I finish my coding classes, I can just go back and read, go look them because there are ideas packed in this thing. I already have 108 files, and I'm not even halfway done. I'm probably even a little under a quarter done, and I have 100 files consisting of anywhere from 40 pages to 100 pages. So, and all of them are just either used assessments with codes or they're just looked over and became an idea that I can come back to it, but they're all there. So once getting the entire coding courses and my courses done, only thing I do is lay back and you know, pull that up on the PC and just scroll through it and think of what I want to do with my imagination and build it. So uh, while that stands, we are going to be able to code with us with Web3 contracts because we're going to regale ourselves with how we created the uh, synthetic reserve. So this way, I can establish the right handshake, and then I can actually build what it needs to make business with the Web3 blockchain. So with that, I don't know how long it's gonna take because I'm not gonna bother with that till I finish copying over my assessments. So we're looking at working too So while we're doing that, we're looking at finding work so we can get into it, so we can save up some more money to put a little bit of more gear on our PC. Just putting gear together and stuff. And uh, from that, we are going to uh, look at what we want to do next. First thing we're going to do is buy our cars. Oh, and the third one was the Ferrari SFX not FF 90XX or SFXX90 or something, or SFX SF90 Stradale XX or XX Stradale, SF90XX Stradale. But those are limited bills, so I don't think I'll be able to get one of those. If my contract didn't work out and I get a lot of money from it, I'll pay, I'll pay for it because, I don't want to get that. I'm gonna buy a sweet mansion next. So another thing is we follow their contents and share them on our Facebook because when we get our mansion and our stuff, we want to invite them out to come hang out with us. Um, and uh, Tell them about me and I followed them and they helped me and stuff like that. Make new friends and but that's just a small gist of it. So but we have to wait until we get to that point. But that is in the goal because this social media thing is kind of big, but I'm using it in a most extreme digital way, and I have to teach people. So um, the one way to do that is to just lead by lead by visual. So they'll see what I'm doing. So like one of my projects is turning my Facebook cover into a dragon. Like you'll see me like this and or standing somewhere and I will like run and jump in the air and I will use AI video auto generating video and you will see like my I will land like on my cover. So um but we're still working out the kinks out because we need to get a web developer account with Facebook. So we have to get that first in order to plug in the APIs. The APIs for such and it's like what you're seeing now. This is StreamYard, but the stuff that I'm doing and coding, I will need the developers tool. I will need the developers account. So that will take me to a whole different kind of setup where I could link it to my coding platforms or my repos and things like that. So, which is actually what we do anyway. We have to link them to our repos via API, but we can't do that unless we have the web developer account. So, which doesn't matter. It was just a small setback. Uh, but we're working on handling that. We didn't really get that much into it because Instagram is owned by Facebook, and we have to do the same thing. Or I need to research it more. In short, and so with the affiliate marketing and building up the YouTube content, we decided to put our YouTube shares for what we were doing to our Facebook. And when we got sidetracked because we have a Facebook page that's called the Mill Entertainment. So now I have to move stuff over from there to a Mill Entertainment and just clean it up a little bit. Just everything just get cleaned up. So But this was the site I got the main place for where I can do this and say, oh, on this social media, I'm gonna do this, and this is happening and stuff like that. You get all the details when you get there. Go to the link in the description, or if I have a web developer's account, like click the link on the video on the screen, things like that. But I use AI to do most of my work. So having a web developer's account, I tell AI to give me the instructions, and AI tells me what to do to build it. It's really perplexed. So I advise you, if you just took a hint to that, you're gonna do what I just said. Go take a coding class, because you're gonna have to take the codes that AI gives you and put them inside your developer's tool, your account, and you don't want to just be doing that. You want to understand syntax. So, um, it's all for use for anyone. So just know if you're going to use AI to get instructions to use your developer's link to your actual account. This is your face. So when you add those codes, if you actually apply them, you may change something. So what you can do when you want to do prompt engineering is take a course to learn what syntax is. And once you grasp what syntax is, then you'll get along with everything. But on another note, it can be very, very, very monotonous. You think you're going to be doing one task, and it'll turn 5 to 10 tasks. You may have read your coding. You'll be using Google. You'll be using Yahoo, searching and searching, which is inevitably impossible. It's probably was possible during then because it was taught that way, but the amount of stuff that's used with building software, building programs, um, it is easier to let the computer do it. But it's a lot easier for the computer, enhancing your vernacular, your vocabulary, and learning a little bit of computerati. So we were fortunate enough to just have been lived our life that way. We got into it in high school. We were the classes we signed up for. We made it to college late in life, but we managed to be on the same page, and we were able to consume what we were putting together and then make the value for it. So that's generally this arena that we're broadcasting in now. We have another social media where we just dedicated to girls. Girls like climbing in this business. They like entertainment. They chase it. They breathe it. They just want to do it. So a lot of the stuff that we do so much as PC work, and all of the stuff that I just said, those are what's happening behind the scenes. So I'm learning that, and with that channel worked on, I can offer my services and you know actually build things for that. But you see a mill entertainment, that's actually I want to build my own entertainment studio. So this was gonna be a mill entertainment. We work on the world artistry, but I didn't conclude yet if that's gonna be what. So for what uh for what I actually was able to um fabricate I can pitch it and promote it on that social media because they do what they need to do to get the funds and the ends to pay for the services, which is my aim, having the money and getting put out there, having a reputation. So we just created a playlist, a world artist vlog playlist, because that's where I put my world artist music. We did share some type of music, I believe, here, but we have the Mill Entertainment. So, like I said, I gotta go back and clean that up and move it over to Mill Entertainment. But everything is in order. I'm just working on finishing up on some things, prayerfully getting my certs, another prayerfully working so I can upgrade my computer and put some Ryzen in there, some GPU power, or not sure if I can change the GPU power. I'm probably sure I can probably add a different port, add something to a port probably. Not sure, not sure. I did some research on it. And get it look back at the diagnostics, whatever I need, just so I can get the RAM and the memory and make it like new. Get get a different extend and switch so I can have three extends or two extends in host machine, and then I'll be able to pull up my quantum codes where I can run my synthetic codes and do the whole smart contracting thing. So um, for our imposter and mill channel, we'll mostly be here. This is where I will come, like, if I'm saying something and I'll go to Europe or Italy, and I will go to some important place there to talk about something on another channel or introducing something. Or this is where I would come if I wanted to say we built Sabre State House, which is the car in the back, and our this is the first place I will come, like, to this Facebook or YouTube. I mean, to YouTube or Facebook, and like, welcome to the world of the White Serpent. Yeah, but I'm just really excited that I found the place that I want to jump from, because I've been going from one social media to the other, trying to figure out how to get the actual pinpoint to where I can navigate, because I'm everywhere. Like, I mean, it's just serendipitous that I'm compiling all of my AI assessments that built this, and now being able to understand it directly. So it's 1-in-1 ratio. You win the first day because you now get to look at your code as liquid assets. Then the next, while that doesn't mean anything, you have your face for that. You have a place where you can say you want to buy into my liquid assets. So as of now, we have algorithms that are liquid assets, but we have to finish the reserve code for so that they can run from one place to another. So we can go to places like corporate offices in DC and find the go to and work our way um, through a uh, contract and come out with, I don't know, X figures, six figures, two figures, five. Depends on the algorithm. They get their metadata when they're produced. They get what they are, where they came from, how they were made, how much is worth, what kind of cost they are. So even if it's cheap, we can tell it make expensive ones. we could use that plugin where it's the market data tool. That will help tremendously because that will tell me what companies are actually using using algorithms that I can up the numbers for them. But this whole plus and payment thing is a um a viable line of credit. So the company may, because they can charge it synthetically. This helps supports the coding because it's giving it something to do. And like in the real world with the fiat, your money doesn't grow unless you're moving it, unless you're doing something with it. So you know, um, that 1-to-1 ratio from the synthetic to what we are pushing out, those smart contracts do really well, but we want to first up the GP. We want to first up this first, because we're looking at something. I think it was saying something about something I can't do to it. I don't remember what it was. So we're pacing it because um, we take an ethical hacking course on my phone, so we wanted to use it to run with our additional extend monitors, and the IBM computer. So, uh, but definitely not going too far into all that. This is where it all happens. This is like the person working on the code, the person working on the infrastructure, the owner, the stakeholder. Like, I mean, with the smart contract is successful, I'm my own stakeholder. So, you gotta see uh the great nation of the continental states, because this is what they built. This is what they were chasing to give to us, so a way for us to um evolve and uh, be able to change our demean so that we can be the example for the world what our uh, ways are, our ambition. You know, there's a actualization somewhere, but I live on the edge of DC, so I'm close to the mall, the library, the Congress building. Like, I go all through there, so we're just trying to get freshed up and everything because there's a lot of people there. So we need to be really expensively clean. We need to have one like 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, $10,000 pants. This is just so that I can keep my digital devices, kind of in my, you know, pay attention because there's a lot of books. You can't just go to the mall, buy something, and go there. You just running a clock, and you're just taking up space. Not in a bad way. I mean, just you're not. It's just gonna run the day. So you gotta support your lifestyle. You're in the private section of the Library of Congress. So you gotta wear that and get to where you need. Like, I'll probably get done with this, and just because I talked about it, I'll turn on National Treasure and start writing down clues. Like, I was talking about this, so I'm gonna look at National Treasure. I'm gonna give me some clues. So I used to watch that all the time too. So one way or the Library of Congress is really cool, but that's there. They're all there. All that stuff's there, and now we have this to help us do that. So we're really big on that, treasure hunting. So, we had a um, much of a perplexity and coming up and what wasn't there, but That was by choice. And, the things that were like wanting to chase a basketball career from high school, but decided to work at Baskin Robbins. So those things, it was just on my computer course. When I got in there, I started at high school, taught me how to type, and that's where everything took off from there. But um, I am sure of the location. So this is good because this is giving me this is an alleviation from you know having to work, code, research, read, uh, compile, uh, whiteboard, what's it called? Assess or stage, and so we would have to, uh, do the whole SDLC software development life cycle. Um, we would have to be doing all of that. Plus, doing those things, we didn't have this where we would be somewhere where, because you have to have an erect posture doing it. And I was everywhere. I would be working and I would be like, I'm gonna fall asleep. So that's just your posture. It's like, because you're doing number of things. So if you're in a seat, you can get on. Except I managed to use the transparency, so it works out to my advantage. Now I have data for quantum codes. So when I change my quantum codes to actually interact with them, human interaction, then I have the video transparency with quantum simulation for what I'm actually doing because I sit air high over everything that I'm doing. I have like, uh, you know, one nation under God, indivisible. And uh, that wasn't in the plan. Like I said, serendipitously, it just triggered today. Um, that was because I was compiling my codes, and earlier I was using it, compiling, then we're compiling my AI assessments. I it's something triggered or something. Oh, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be done for the night because I've been because I was troubleshooting the PDFs because we got rid of them like I told you. So I was troubleshooting. So I was like, all right, before I watch a movie, I'll do a live stream. And so I got on YouTube, and then I was back. I said back, and I normally generate my descriptions and banner with Copilot, the side panel. So I opened that up, and I was trying to think of a title, and then I was just sat back and I said, all right, so what am I going to talk about? And it just clicked to me. I was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the place I do everything. So that's what we're doing. That's what that happened. So it's all good. Uh, it's like a relief really. I feel really successful. Like I mean, I just can't explain how I feel. Like shout in its Yalmazar. If it wasn't for that YouTuber, I wouldn't have found the website thing that I'm doing. So I get to put my portfolio on there, my tech portfolio, which is very crucial. It's all of the classes I take in, they're missing so much more of the classes because, um, you know, uh, I can't have that transparency. I can talk about it all day. I just can't, put my classes on the World Wide Web. because I mean that's just tech world. That's not safe. You don't want that many people knowing that much stuff. But I put a number up there, a number of courses up there. I think 15 total. So I think it was like 12, and uh, we are uh, we are for our courses we are making those uh, uh, for a passkey page. So we're gonna link those to a page that has passkeys for them, and from that we're going to actually use that with recruits. We do freelancing, so if a YouTuber or someone reach out want either micro consultancy stuff like that, then I will be able to do the freelancing and kind of maneuver from there. But that's definitely not gonna happen till later in the future because we want to finish our coding and stuff first. So they'll be, they'll be like, "What did you just give me?" Like, it'll be like, so they're amazed. I mean, I do creative work. I get what they want, and I since learning how to code and knowing how to use AI to build it, it will be a cinch. But it will be even better to give them what AI can create, and I can code their interaction with it. So that's the main thing. That's some people don't realize is kind of ahead of all of it is UX UI. These are user experience. These are the people that are building what you're actually touching on your computer. So you go to Facebook, you go to your Twitter, you're doing post, or you do scroll, or you look at your name, what you put your profile. That's interaction, that's experience, UX UI, and those are the people that are kind of the core of a lot of this. So um, that's kind of like how I take it, and I try to put core aspects so that when someone wants something that I can, because AI can generate you know anything. Like it seriously can generate anything. I mean, I started with Copilot and landed at base 44 where I built my dashboard, and that's critical to my whole ecosystem because that's the numbers that investor comes in and looks at. So we're also working with that to clean that to get those labeled in. So the compiling stage is now, so we can go back to this because we will be listing what those represent, what the dashboard means. Everything on the dashboard, every single detail is going to be listed on the website. So the website builder is called Odoo, is ODOO. I used to say Odoo, but I watch other content creators advertise it or market the builder, so they call it Odoo, and you create databases, and those are your websites. So since I got it online on since I opened my account on MSN, I wasn't able to run my backend codes. That's my Python codes and stuff like that. So I had to download the install from the version control, and I had to link my software, the account that I opened on MSN, to the install. So I had to do work from there. So that's really cool to me. That's going to be something that's, but again, it was just a teaching thing. It was just teaching that but I started building startups, and I went to different website builders, and Voodoo's the only one that offered me the things that actually gave me what I needed to, you know, uh, be able to bring my school, my college into it. And uh, that was really good because I crashed into an off season. But the fact that I take online courses with LinkedIn, LinkedIn Learning, go back to college when LinkedIn Learning is teaching something that I definitely want to know before I go back to finish my semesters, especially if they can move my credits. So, uh, reason being, because you have a professor, they teaching you one way. With LinkedIn Learning is a video, so you get to rewind, you get to open up your code or your editors, you follow along, you get to go to Google Metrics. You have all the time. And so that's the good thing because when you get it and you learn it, you even can sit back when it triggers in your mind. You don't have to pressure yourself. Procrastination can be 7 days a week, working 1 hour in the first 3 days and working 12 hours in the last 4 days. So, and that's not procrastination. Procrastination, you don't finish your goal or you to finish your goal. So, through the midst of it, we got a Microsoft certification and we got a software certification and an AI. So we're going back to get more hardcore ones for software and coding and AI and our repository. And those hardcore ones will be very uh, fruitful for the business ones. And so I got all laid out on deck, but we have our Microsoft ID, or I think it's IDA or something. It's like Google API, but it's called Microsoft ID or something like that. And so with our LinkedIn work, we put those on our Odoo, but we're using Microsoft to control the page and stuff like that. So we already coded that. We're about to code our satellite connectivity to start bringing back all of the startups that we failed on. So we're about to bring back those to link them to the satellite, the direct satellite connectivity codes. Yesterday we just fixed our dashboard and our payment services and our synthetic code. And so now what we're doing with the assessments and the compiling, we're going to be able to work with the backend, work with the software, the Odoo software that we are using to code the backend, clean up the pages. We don't have much work to do. This is all like Swift tasks, but my computer is the memory. I can't chance troubleshooting my memory without professional assistance because a memory leak could be more damaging than trying to clear it up so I can reduce the latency. So, in that latency that I get when I'm using my services, like my PG admin, it uses up a lot of power. My um, Base 44 uses up a lot of power. I mean, that's because they're running AI and they're building your app, your website. So that uses a lot of CPU, GPU, so your machine works hard, but it can handle it because it's normally uh, running off a terabyte. So uh, at the same time, it just still works. So when you're trying to do that, and then you want to try to move at a pace where you're moving really fast and you're using AI, sometimes I get caught in the matrix where it's like you, and then that can be draining because it's stopping you in increments. So I don't set deadlines to finish anything. But however, I do get nice pieces of my work done. So in that, I am nearing my final goal. So we are actually complete. We just need a business license and a business banking so we can pitch the startups. But that's a I wanted to take it that way so I don't have to work to leave my stuff alone and et cetera, et cetera. I'm able to just go ahead and get a license in a banking and then pitch and see what I can get to come in to run my startups so that I can move my host machine and other things from one location to the next and be able to support my lifestyle and actually complete the company and have a launch. And so we're confident about that. We put the US SBA, the United States Small Business Administration, in our agenda. So we're going to be doing that in third quarter before launch. So we're going to get all our work done. We're going to go to the venture capitalists. We're going to do the pitching. We're going to do the startup thing. But then after all that, we're going to go to the Small Business Administration to get the uh, seminars, the tutorials, the things that you have a small business. I will be taking a business course, but like I got this way a lot because I went to participate in some of the things in my schoolwork. They have events, online events, green club events because I joined the green club or meetings, and it just opened the eye up to the other side of things where most people that are discussing the startup lifestyle they don't go into, and so I'm trying to just add a little menacing concept for not doing the wrong thing, which can be frustrating because a lot of people see startup as freedom, and I don't want to, come across the wrong way, but I got to stay the work, because the courses are there, they're online, and they're only 12 hours or 5 hours, whereas your college is using up 1, 2, and 4 year, 1, 2, and /3, or 1, 2, and 4 years of your life. So, not to say that that's a bad thing. With the online courses and using the Small Business Administration, you met them halfway where they can guide you through and tell you how to get to those things. So, all of the tools and things are there, and even within the government. And just getting all A's on the accounts for because business like how this thing switched on me, and this is just research. Like you want to ask for a contract because if you leave out of your shares and you make $20 million, the capitalists they can take 15 and leave you with 5 when all of that's yours. So, and I didn't know that either. So, one of the reasons my initial startups failed because I was building the whole thing. I got down to the end with the nitty gritty, and it said, you're not going to get anything because you need a license and you need a bank account for them to put the money into. It shows equity. And they're not going to give it to you in your personal account. I'm thinking pitch and get it put in my personal account. And they call that commingling. You don't want to do that either. Someone comes along, they want to sue you. If you have commingling on your thing, it can say, they have a company, yada, yada, yada. If you don't commingle your funds, you have nothing to do with your loss or your personal credit. So, a lot of the research that you're actually getting into and stuff like that, and it's just the nature of things. It's learning the things and still taking them in. And this is actually a good place to talk about it as well too. That will be one of the most things that I come across because it's visual, this business and professionalism, stuff like that. A lot of people conclude it in a personal lifestyle, sexuality, uh, education, and this is America. So much as far as it being from a con man, it could be competency, and you know that's just America. I mean, the only guiding is that the tax money comes into play. Then that separates the difference between competency and frauds and cons and legitimacy. So no matter however anyone takes your account, takes your work on account, you still have to pay taxes for it. You still have to do things. So anyway, we're gonna cut out now. Our laundry just got done, and we're gonna watch some National Treasure, and then from there we're gonna wake up tomorrow because we gotta get back to our compiling. So thanks for watching, and hope I didn't put you guys to sleep. Wake up.